In today's video, traders, we're going to be talking about some of my trading on my swing trade account. I want to talk a little bit about what I do when a trade goes bad, or what I do when I have to handle some difficult situations in the currency market. Now, no matter how good you think you are at trading, the reality about successful Forex traders is not that they avoid problems, it's how they choose to handle those problems when they come. Every single person that you know and that I know in real life has problems, right? They say the old saying is more money, more problems, right? Well, in trading, it's the same. It doesn't change just because you become more of a savvy trader or more of an experienced trader. In today's video, I'm going to talk briefly about what it means to handle difficult situations as a trader. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my own situation currently and how I choose to handle situations like the one I'm in. Let's go ahead and jump into the video right now. So welcome back, traders, to my channel. My name is Nick. I make all sorts of currency related content here on YouTube for free. I do ask that if you enjoy my channel and you enjoy my content, and heck, if you even enjoy hanging out with me, please give this video a thumbs up down below and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. So we're going to be talking a little bit about my live account here. You can see up in the top left that this is a real account. It's one of my swing trading accounts. I have multiple accounts, but this particular one is set up for one of my strategies that I quite like. And so we're talking today a little bit about what to do in a bad scenario. When you go on social media, when you go on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok nowadays, right? There's all these people talking about how easy it is to make money, and they send out all these pictures of screenshots of wins, right? And the reality about Forex trading is that it's not that easy, right? They're just showing you the upside. They're not showing you what it really means to handle difficult situations. Speaking of difficult situations, that's why I'm making this video. I'm going to show you an actual difficult situation that I've been dealing with. So we're looking at the pound dollar here. If I pull that up right here, you can see this is my $9,500 account. We grew this account a couple, maybe $100 so far. It's a brand new account, and so not bad at all. Happy with the growth that we've seen so far. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because recently we've seen some problems with the pound. And if you know my strategy, you know that this strategy does not use stop losses. And I know that that's a trigger word for a lot of people who are new and experienced traders, both of them alike. A lot of times people will say you should never not use a stop loss. I get it, but at the end of the day, this has worked for me for some time, and I'm going to ask that you let me do my thing and you do your thing. I get it if you think it's going to stop out and blow the entire account. It's entirely possible. But even if you're using a stop loss, real quick, even if you're using a stop loss, you can blow the entire account on big, major news release crises that can completely blow the account. Even if you're using a stop loss, there's no such thing as a guaranteed stop for most brokers. It's very rare that they offer that. And so regardless, whether you think stop loss or not is completely irrational. I have strategies that use stop loss, and I also have strategies that do not use stop loss. And in this particular case, I do not use a stop loss. And so people ask, well, Nick, what are you going to do when the price goes against you? Well, we're looking here at pound dollar. This is GBP USD. And last week we had an interesting little scenario pop up with the pound. I was short on the pound after some recent news here. Some bullish news came out on the pound right here. You can see on this particular candle, I looked to get short, and I did take a small short position. Note number one about using no stop loss: there's no such thing as big wins on a no stop loss account because you have to manage your risk somehow. And there's multiple ways of managing risk. The old saying or the old concept of the only way to manage your risk is to use a stop loss, in my opinion, is not necessarily true. There are multiple ways to manage risk, because if you look at a hedge fund, they don't have stop losses on most of their trades. They hedge their bets. They look to expose themselves in a limited manner to certain pairs or certain commodities or whatever they're trading, right? So there's other ways to manage risk. Point being, when we're looking at the pound dollar, I took a very small short position because we had some bullish news come out on the pound, but looking long term, I still have this kind of bearish bias that I have maintained for quite some time on the pound dollar. We've been trading the pound dollar short for some time, and it's been a really great instrument to trade, catching some really nice swings to the downside. However, recently we did see some bullish change in direction. Now, does it mean that the market is going to absolutely slam upwards? Maybe, maybe not, but what I'm looking to do is I've caught a short position here, and I have a secondary short position here. This one is slightly bigger. I think this one's 0.08 lots, which relative to the account size is relatively small. right? So I have a 0.08 lot size position to the sell side here, and I'm looking to let that trade run. Now, this trade could continue to go against me for a significant amount of time, and it's not likely to blow the account. Again, going back to that concept, you can always blow accounts. That's always an availability or a possibility, even if you're using a stop loss, because there's no such thing as guaranteed stops, and many stop outs in a row is considered the same concept in terms of a drawdown, right? The account is down in equity. Same concept with no stop loss. Again, you can see I've talked about this concept many, many times. Back and forth, it's an endless debate, but here's, again, real quick, the concept is trade your way that works for you. I'm doing that. I hope that you'll do that and ignore all the debate that goes on about it, because at the end of the day, who cares what other people are doing? If it works for you, do it. That's what's worked for me for years. I'm going to stick to it. So again, GBP USD on the daily chart, we took a short here, right? And we took a secondary short here. I'm looking to see this market roll over. And you might ask, well, what made you take this first trade in the first place? Now, if I back up on this chart, if we clean things up here a little bit and I zoom out, you can see that I actually drew a longer term downtrend line. Okay. And price, this was the reason for kind of looking to get this secondary trade. I thought that this level might hold as a resistance point. So if we point this trade out, you can see that this current trend line is actually holding very, very nicely. And we're looking to see that this price holds that trend line and rolls over. Okay. The other reason is that this zone here, if I can just draw this, that's a really ugly color. I'm going to change that. Let's just change it to regular red for now. Okay. So, and the reason this background is pink is because my expert advisor changes the color based on whether it's long or short. That just helps me visualize where my positions are. But with that said, there's also a zone here that I liked horizontally in terms of a resistance. Again, this strategy allows me to scale in and out of trades if I want to, right? So I'm still overall looking for this trend to continue to the downside on GBP USD. And currently the account is actually not down very much at all. It was down more than this briefly recently, right? You can see that the equity on this chart is down about just under $15 there. And so really it's not much of a drawdown. This is a nearly a, what is that? $95, almost $9,600 account. So that's really not much of a drawdown. You can see the open profit and loss is negative 0.13%. Really no big concern, but I am looking to handle this GBP trade, and it was worse just recently, right? You can see at the we've come down off of our entry there. That was another 78 pips. It doesn't look like much, but because the pound is so volatile, that is right there, just in that zone, 75 or so pips, whatever I just said, right? So that's the point here, is I'm looking to deal with this trade. There's nothing easy about trading Forex, and people will ultimately in the comments and in forums and all of that, they'll just tell you how easy it is and that you should be going for 10% a day on your account and that it's easy. But my plea with you, whoever you are watching this video, right, is that stop listening so much to outside voices and start testing concepts and things and strategies on your own and start really getting that concept. The point of my YouTube channel is to share with you ideas so that you can then go forth and apply them and look to try them out for yourself and derive your own opinions. This is just me showing you a little bit about my account. Now I also have an Aussie dollar trade here that I'll pull up, currently in profits here. You can see I sent this trade out to VIP members. If you're not a VIP member, then you can look in the description of this video. There should be a link to sign up to be a member there if you are interested in that. But Aussie dollar, you can see we had this movement to the downside, right? This is another trade that's open on the account, actually kind of helping to recuperate some of the losses here on that GBP pair, right? So we've had this swing high to swing low, and we've had a pullback to the 50% level. I'm sorry, between the 50 and the 61.8 is ultimately where we were looking for that zone of resistance, right? And so my idea here is that the 61.8 should hold as a resistance point. We did actually see it hold very nicely right here. And so as price started to fall, I got involved with the trade right here, took a sell trade there with a small position size relative to the overall account and looking to get out down here along this structure down here. Okay, so that's kind of just a relatively simple trade there that I am involved with, that again was sent out to VIP members. But guys, the point of this is just to show you kind of the behind the scenes and what it really looks like to be managing a nearly $10,000 account. The goal is to hit 10,000 at some point in the next few weeks, next few months. We'll see how the account goes. And again, my primary goal with these trading accounts is not to make a lot of money. My primary goal with these trading accounts is to protect my money and to slowly scale it over time. Now, the thing is, a lot of times people trade Forex like they're trying to get rich next week. And the reality is that if you can trade Forex and just slowly compound your gains over time, they'll do the hard work for you. The thing is, people are not interested in this concept, which is time. Right? People are not interested in this. They want it now. They want it today, right there. They want to see this account go straight up. And in my opinion, the markets do not reward people who are smart. They don't reward people who are aggressive, or they reward people who are patient, right? They reward people who understand this concept and can accept that wealth is not going to come instantly. It's going to come over time, and it's going to come over scaling your money over time. Instead of trying to double and triple your money really quick, think of the trading markets, at least in my opinion, as a way to scale money over time rather than to create new money instantly. That's just my 2 cents. Feel free to disagree. I'm sure that people will. There always will be people who disagree with you anytime you speak about trading or anything for that matter. You can see the account actually up. What is that? 0.61, 0.56, right around 0.5% up, when in reality the trade was just recently down. If we go back to our GBP pair here, you can see actually up really nicely on this trade right now. Now if I go into my panel here, we go to trades open, you can take a look here and you can see that this trade is actually up $90. You can see the secondary trade, and the first trade is down 58. So really it's self-corrected very nicely. I did add to my position up in this area. Now the reason I took this trade, I want to talk briefly about why that is. And it's because there's the old saying in trading and investing that you should buy the rumor and sell the news. By the time the news comes out, everyone has processed it, and usually retail is the last one to know or trade that information. By the time it's out in the public, it's already been traded and the markets are already reacting to it, right? So in my mind, in this case, although there was some bullishness that came out about the pound, and there very well may be some more, the actual rally that was coming out here was kind of, in my mind, more likely to fade than continue just because of the overall longer term sentiment of bearishness on the pound. I think that there was a good chance that people were looking to take advantage of this pop-up. Obviously, we did get a sell-off here. You can see, what is that? Off of the highs, off of where I entered, we're actually up 113 or so, 114 pips on this secondary trade. So again, up about $48 overall in the account. And this is going back, we actually caught a sell on Euro GBP. So we actually kind of caught both directions. We sold right here, right? This level right here was a zone that I looked for a sell. We had a beautiful sell off. We had a nice profit there. So we sold, which means that we, of course, were long GBP, right? So if you're selling Euro GBP, you're selling Euro and buying GBP. So sure enough, we actually had a profit both directions on this GBP spike. We bought GBP up here, right? Or sold Euro GBP, and we sold GBP USD up at the highs here and are currently holding on to that trade. So I'm looking to catch some more momentum to the downside if we can see it. Otherwise, I will close out this position and alert members as I do so. But for the most part, going to look to secure the profits that I have here on the table pretty soon. You can see that the overall account is up very nicely here for the time being. You can see we're up, what is that? If I get my pin out, I'll be able to highlight it for you guys. So overall on the account, up about 0.5%. Now I know that might not sound like a lot to most people, but for me, this is a low risk account. I'm looking to grow this account steadily over time, not looking to double this thing or triple this thing really quickly. But you can see that up 0.54% for the time being. Probably will look to close out the trade relatively soon, seeing if I can get a little bit more out of the movement. If not, I'll close out the trade and alert members that I've done so. So for the most part, very happy with this GBP move. GBP is an extremely volatile currency, but it can be tamed. It can be looked at, and it can be kind of traded profitably. As you can see in this video, we caught the trade on Euro GBP up here, right? And it's the equivalent of buying it somewhere in this low on Euro GBP, except we sold GBP USD just because I like the setup pretty nice on this one. That's why I chose to use GBP instead of Euro GBP. So overall, looking very nicely on this setup. You can also see that if we go to that Aussie dollar trade that I took, if it's on here. I don't think I have it pulled up. There it is. Aussie dollar is looking to close profit pretty soon here on the trade. Again, using small positions. So this trade particularly is up about $20 on the trade, so not bad. Just a quick in and out of this trade if we can get out here. You can still see the account is up 0.52. We're short on this pair and up 41, 42 pips and looking to take profit. Pretty soon we have $20 on the table. If price goes all the way into our favor, what's that going to be? It's going to be a $25 profit even, and that's going to be a 50 pip move. Not bad at all. Just a quick in and out on Aussie dollar, which is a relatively low volatility instrument. You can see up $55 on the account. Very, very nice. Going to look to secure that. This is just one of the accounts that I run, so looking to close profits on this one. I also have GBP open on a couple other accounts. Also going to look to sell those or kind of close out those sells pretty soon. With that, guys, I hope you got something out of this video. This is just a behind the scenes, the reality of what I do when I'm working with positions that have gone against me and I'm kind of dealing with trades gone bad. Sometimes you have to do that as a trader. There's no such thing as free money in the Forex market. I don't care what anybody tells you. I'm telling you, I've been in the market for a long time. I know successful traders. I know not successful traders, and I can tell you that successful traders don't avoid problems. They handle problems better than novice traders.